A few years back, I wrote a book called Love Not Fear, and a lot of you know me through that book. And the book was an exploration of ways that we could live together, ways that we could live together in cooperation instead of competition, or to put it a different way, how the winner of the competition would be the one who gave the more, not the one who took the more out of society for his own use. I used the catchphrase, the day we can help the Joneses keep up with us instead of trying to keep up with the Joneses, everything will change. And I believe that, and I still stand by that. Yet people have written into me and they've said, but Jack, you've got this beautiful attitude about helping and loving and stuff. But you keep writing about the Fakeugees and how we got to send them all back home, and that doesn't seem to gel with some of you, does it? Some of you just don't get it. You think there's a contradiction there. You think, why can't I be really kind and loving towards the Fakeugees? Well, I think the clue is in the word I just used, Fakeugees. Of course, I'm loving and kind to all genuine refugees, absolutely. As we live on this earth together, we rub shoulders together, we form relationships. And obviously, it's easier if the other person or people you're in a relationship with are nice people, easy to get along with. But some folks aren't. And the dynamic between a newcomer and somebody who was born here, whose ancestors go back hundreds of years, thousands in some cases, is a relationship. And it's a much smoother relationship if everybody tells the truth and tries to help one another. But there's been a group of people who arrived here over the last 20 or 30 years. There's been a huge influx of them since Brexit, I suppose, really. Who aren't nice people. Well, some of them are, some of them aren't. And the ones that aren't spoil it for everybody else. Yeah, I'm not talking about the genuine refugees that came after the war. I'm not talking about the genuine refugees or genuine immigrants that have come here and worked hard and made this country their own. That's beautiful. I don't care what colour of skin. I don't care what name you call God by. If you're good to me, I'll be good to you. But don't come here to my country and trash it. That's not a good start for a relationship, is it? You don't come to somebody else's country and trash it. And some of them I know, I've heard some of them talk. They blame us, not Brits necessarily, but Westerners. For NATO, we're a member of NATO. We have to take the consequences of what NATO does, and we've had plenty of British boots on the ground in Afghanistan and Iraq. And we should never have been there. We should never have done those things. A lot of the people that are coming in little boats pretending to be refugees are actually coming here for revenge because we invaded their countries. And back to World War II. Yeah, of course, the firebombing of Dresden was wicked and should never have happened. But you didn't see any Germans from Dresden coming to Britain and claiming asylum here, did you? You don't seek asylum in the country of your enemy. So any Afghan or Iraqi who turns up here claiming asylum because we attack their country, it doesn't add up, does it? They're not coming for asylum, they're coming for revenge. So yeah, let's help everybody, and we can start by stopping. Yeah, we can start being kind to everybody by stopping all the bloody silly wars everywhere. Just stop killing each other. Don't take sides. Just stop killing each other. There's something that I do write about in my book, which I call the cycle of resentment. And you can talk about how it can happen in a family, how it can happen between a couple, but also between peoples, between nations. Somebody does something which causes resentment, and you invade somebody's country, they're going to resent you for doing it. And then they're going to retaliate, and that's going to make you want, you're then going to resent them retaliating, and it just spirals and spirals and spirals and spirals until it gets out of control, and until somebody has the bloody sense to say, stop! Just stop. Just stop killing each other. Just say, I'm sorry, we were prats in the past, you were prats in the past, we've all been prats in the past. Let's just put it behind us, please, and start again. Whether it's between countries, whether it's between families, whatever it's between. Just say stop. It stops now. Leave it all behind in 2025. Don't bring it with us into 2026. We don't need it. So do I hate the Fakeugees for coming? No, I don't hate anybody. Life's too short for hating. I wish they'd stay at home. But, you can dislike things people do without hating the people. I feel sorry for them because they're being used. They're being used as pawns in a much bigger game that they don't understand. The globalists, it's a globalist tactic, or a leftist tactic. You can use those words pretty much interchangeably these days, can't you? Leftist and globalist. To give certain groups of people special privileges and then misrepresent the resentment which inevitably arises from that as hate in order to crack down on the haters. But there aren't any haters. There are just people who resent being second-class citizens in their own country. But the people that come in the little boats, they're just pawns. They're being used. They're being used by these globalist organizations to try to destroy the West. I mean, I've written a book about it, Just Stop Tyranny, in which I list all these, or many of these groups, such as the Fabian Society, such as the Bilderberg Group, such as the World Economic Forum, the United Nations. I'm involved in a battle here in Glastonbury, where I live, against UNESCO taking over our sacred sites. UNESCO being part of the United Nations. All over the world, they're taking over the sacred sites there, and putting out their own narrative, their own spin on what they want us to believe the history of the places was, and the spiritual significance of the places was, which is not necessarily the truth. They spend a lot of money on these visitor centres, and you get to walk around with these headphones on if you want to, and they're talking into your ear all the time and telling you all this nonsense about what's going on there. So if you want to go into detail of all these different groups, then by all means read my book, Just Stop Tyranny. It's on Amazon. One of the groups that I don't actually mention in the book, but it's probably the most relevant to the one that we're talking about now, is the Muslim Brotherhood. Most Islamic countries ban the Muslim Brotherhood because they know that they're not genuine, that they're just out for trouble, that they're out to... The dream is the one world government, isn't it? They all dream of this one world government. Whichever group it is, all these globalist groups, they want a one world government. And the Muslim Brotherhood want a caliphate, a one world Muslim caliphate. So they're all basically singing from the same hymn sheet. There's lots of other ones. There's the charity common purpose, doing all this, filling people's heads with all this nonsense. But what do we do about it? This is the question. This is a question I raise in the book, in both books, Love Not Fear, and in Just Stop Tyranny. What can we do about it? What we do about it is we stop supporting their companies, their corporations. We stop spending our money in Starbucks. We stop, I know I'm a bit of a hypocrite because my book's on Amazon, but I'm going to say stop shopping on Amazon, but please buy my book. I know. You don't have to tell me, I know. I am looking for an alternative bookseller. If we stop giving them our money, they will collapse. If we stop putting our money in the banks, they will collapse. If we stop paying our taxes, our governments will collapse. Now, there may be some boot stamping on our faces along the way there, but is it any worse than our parents and grandparents had to put up with during World War II? And the previous generation during World War I? We've got to be prepared to stand up for what we believe in. I'm an old man now, but I'm prepared to go to jail if it comes to it. Lock me up. Just say no. Just say no. Whatever you want, just say no. Whatever you want, the answer is no. Digital currency? No. Digital ID? No. We don't want any of it. One world government? No. Agenda 30? No. I talk a lot about Agenda 30 in Just Stop Tyranny. Every time they try to take another piece of our freedom. Just say no. No. And I'm not paying the fine. You'll have to put me in jail. Line in the sand. I drew mine during COVID. I said no. I said no. And I'm not paying any fines. Just put me in jail. Namaste.